no, the same set of people. They are so as they are. There are values that are not, how do I put it? There are values that must be clean. So you have integrity, you have false dishonesty. When you're dishonest, when any process is honest, wisdom does not associate with it. If the process is not straightforward, wisdom does not do cut and join processes. I'm telling you, don't worry, you want to do ID card. Don't worry, you submit passport here. You go, I will take it to Abuja, and then they will now bring it back. Okay, why am I submitting passport here and going to Abuja? Let me go to that office and submit everything at the same time. Something is wrong somewhere. So wisdom will make you understand that why is this process different from the other process? Wisdom allows you to follow due process. Can we say we have white people in Nigeria? Yes, we do. But it's just that the system not allows us to use our wisdom. But yes, wisdom follows due process. You do it the way it should be done, not the way it is being done. You don't jump the gong. You do it honestly. Honestly, that is wisdom. You don't sell with the expression of dishonest gain. That is not wisdom. That's not wisdom. Only the unwise do that thing and expect dishonest gain. That's unwise. You say, let me, instead of doing, you try to look for a way to gain more. You are being dishonest, you think you are wise. You're not being wise. You are being foolish. Wisdom does not pleasure in dishonesty. It does not. It does not. So a wise person does. If you are supposed to make gain of 100, make gain of 100. Don't buy something for a particular price and then because of inflation, you came back, you have integrity, good. Or be true, truth. One other leg of the fourth leg is truth. It must be true. If it's not true, it is not wisdom. Wisdom does not stand on falsehood. Wisdom must be true. If that thing is not true, don't count it as wisdom. Run out of business. But at that point, you know there are gains and losses in business. So only sell much enough to restock and not to make profit anymore. Because you've lost already. You know, it's when people lose. Okay, what if you were coming on the road and the truck fell down? What would you do? So there's always a way around this. But however, honesty is always essential because your conscience will tell you when you are honest and when you are not. In verse 12, we're talking about discipline and knowledge. You see, the wise does not run from discipline. The wise does not run from discipline. The wise love to be disciplined. The wise want to be disciplined. The wise want to be checked. They love check and balances. Only the fool, or only the unwise, rather, I'm trying not to use fool, only the unwise is not comfortable with check and balances. They want to always be on the winning side. But the wise love to be conscious and love to have check and balances. You're right here, you're wrong here. They love such checks and balances. But no, the unwise does not. The unwise, in fact, I think the unwise that he is not right is problem. He always wants to hear, I am right, I am right. In fact, even to take advice is a problem. He knows it all already. He knows it all. But the wise seeks advice. The wise seeks correction. The wise seeks discipline. Because it's only through this that the wise will get better. It's only through him knowing what he has done wrong, what he has done right, what he can take off, what he can bring in, that he will make himself better. He knows what to shake off, what to continue with. He knows the chaff to sieve out and what to continue with. That is a wise person. I remember the Bible says that the Lord God chastises those he loves. So discipline is not an ill act. Discipline is a product of love. It is punishment that is a product of ill. But discipline is an intention to correct. So the wise prefer to be disciplined and checked and corrected. But the unwise, no, they don't want to hear. They are wrong. So at any point you feel that you are too good or too right to be corrected, something is wrong somewhere. At any point in time you feel that you are too good or too right to be checked, something is wrong somewhere. Either you feel that your idea is the best at that time, something is wrong somewhere. You cannot at any time be less informed. Or you cannot at any time feel to know everything. Nobody is an island of knowledge and never will ever be. Even a professor is a professor in a field and not in the entire education. You're a professor in a field. So you cannot say, I'm a professor. You cannot be a professor in everything. You cannot be. So that is the truth. So you should be able to make mistakes. The professor who makes mistakes, even in grammar, you're like, professor, that was wrong. A wise man will say, oh, what is the correct thing? He will learn, even as a professor, because he's not a professor in grammar. If he's a professor in chemistry or physics, that is not grammar. In fact, he may be a professor in FEBBO. And even in the FEBBO, if he speaks something and makes mistake, even as a professor, and maybe somebody who is in the village, tells him that one is yes, that is not how it is said. That is the Anglicized version of something. Because of the English intonation, it's just like when we begin to say Udo. What is Udo? What is Usoro? I don't get it. What is Usoro? Where is Egbo? When celebration is Usoro, what is now Usoro? When the second born is, the firstborn is Akpan, what is Akpan? Yes, the second born is Udo. What now is Udo? When masquerade or ghost is Ekbo, what is Ekbo? So no, it's important. It's important. When outside of veranda is a sien, what is a sien? I don't get. I know you now phonate it. You now put my name is Essien. Oh, my name is Essien. What is Essien? Is Essien? Is Ekbo? Is Udo? Is Akpan? Is Usoro? And you begin to go at age to confuse yourself. Okay? So if even a professor should say Usoro, or say, sir, I do Usoro, you should be able to understand at that point that yes, that is corrective, that he is the one who should take this one. That he think is Usoro. You don't come and say Usorondo. You can say that. You can say that. Okay, so that is, we can grow into becoming better products. They're not taking discipline because they love discipline. They're taking discipline because discipline will make them better. And when they become better, they will become more useful. So the wise loves discipline. You can't take away discipline from the wise. It's very important. Very important. So in the next verse, that is verse 14, talk about, yes, this verse 14, it's about women. Let me sit down. Sit down. Oh, it's very important. He said, a wise woman builds the home, while the unwise woman destroys it. Yes. See, if a man destroys the house, he stops you. But if a woman wants to destroy the house, she makes sure everything is no remnant. A wise woman builds the home. See, it has that gender. It has always been at the very back of existence that the home is in the hands of the woman. It is only unfortunate that civilization has taken away this ethical value from our existence. Now, caring for the home and staying at the home is beginning to look or sound like imprisonment. In as much as I'm not an advocate, but I'm not an advocate of permanent housewives. I am not an advocate of that. But any woman who works should know that her primary duty is caring for the home. Nobody should ever make a woman think that caring for the home, there will ever be a day caring for the home become a shared responsibility. Just as no man should ever think that providing for the home should become a shared responsibility. When a woman helps you provide, it's help. When a man helps you care, it is help. But the man's sole duty should be caring for the woman's sole duty should be caring for the home. That care is crucial. That care is important. So when the home is disintegrating, one person that has the sole duty of bringing that home together is the woman. So in verse 18 down of Proverbs, talk about a wise woman cares for the home. It's only an unwise woman that is not interested in what happens in the home. An unwise woman that does that says that, you don't understand the implication. You don't understand the value. You don't understand the virtue. You don't understand the treasure that has been placed on your shoulder. You don't understand it. That is your cardinal responsibility. That is where you should hold dear. That is where you should care. In fact, let that gender go and come back. The home belongs to you. You leave your home and you expect someone else to care for it. That is where I do not understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me when women leave the care of their home to mates. It makes no sense to me. No matter how good a maid is, there are still things about that home the maid should not be the one doing. Very important. I don't know how to say this loud enough. There are still things in the home the maid should not do. There's still one of the beds in that house the maid should never make. For those who know, you know. Of all the beds in that house, there is one the maid should never make. So the day the husband is not making it, please make your bed. That bed belongs to you. For he who makes that bed owns that bed. So when the maid makes that bed, don't be angry when she owns it. It's important to note. Is that important? And don't suspect anything when she comes out from that because she went to make the bed. Why are you angry? Why are you angry? In fact, if the home was well cared for, there are still things the woman should do, no matter how busy she is. There are still things that are in her hands to do. So in your busy schedule, factor that as part of the schedule. Let it enter your schedule that this one I'm the one to do it. But when you have gone and do everything, you come back and I am very tired. You are always tired when you come back to the house. I don't understand you. While you are busy outside, please factor all the hours that you will not be tired at home. Or else will make you too tired at home to go out. Because you have a home to care for. You can't be too tired for it. You cannot be. You cannot be too tired for the home. So in all, if you have 12 hours or 18 hours in a day to work, please don't give all the 18 hours out there. You can say, I'm going to work 12 days, 6 home. Funny about how we will accept, we'll manage. We'll manage if you cannot do 50-50. So don't go and take up responsibilities that you know that you have a home to care. You know, at the time when they will say, there's a fire here who will help me. Are you free? You say, don't worry, I'm free. I'll go home late today. You have a home, so you should not be going late. There are things at the time you now have a home. There are things you used to do that they should understand you not be able to do them anymore outside. You get home. Because when that home is not conducive, when a man thinks of how to get back to the home, and he knows that coming back to that home will not be conducive, he will not come back. But when the home is conducive, a man will be longing, waiting for, looking at the time when we walk close, let me go home. Not when he looks up and sees it's 4 p.m. he's wondering, why is the time so fast? He didn't want to go home. So a wise woman, not even good, a wise woman cares for the home. She makes the home a home. You know, there's a big difference between a house and a home. The house is the edifice. The home is the condition. Anywhere can be a home. Anywhere can be a home. You can make a home under a tree without a structure. It can be a home. As long as that condition, that feeling of homeliness is there, that is a home. After all, why do you hear people say a home away from home? Somebody can come to a hotel and make it a home. It's conducive. So I can even use this hall right now and make it a home. You must not have room and partition. You can make a home. You can make a home. As long as you have that condition. If I want to eat, I eat. If I want to sleep, I sleep. That is what makes a home. Anything you want to do, you do. Provided it is part of the home. That's what a home is. So a woman should make the house a home. Make the home a home. So a wise woman cares for the home. I had to say that. It was very important to me that I say that. But a woman cares for the home. In verse 22, we are talking about names. Yes, we hinted this earlier. About names. Good name is better than most riches. A good name is better than much riches. No matter what it will cost you. When I say cost you in this case, no matter what you will lose to maintain your name, please lose it. Sometimes it's not for the sake of you, but for the sake of your family, for the sake of your children, for the sake of a generation. They are names you will keep back for your children. They will call them that name their entire life, especially for the men. Be careful the name you leave behind. In all you do, don't allow to attach any negative adjective to your name. You know how the Bible attached an adjective to a woman's name and call her the harlot? That same name was given to her even later. They still call that name and say the harlot. Rahab the harlot. What a name. So be careful not to have such name attached, such whether suffix or prefix attached to your name. Where somebody will say, your father not a thief, and they call that name and attach thief to it. Try, because a good name is better than much riches. Lose the wealth and keep the name. It may be difficult because of the climes we are, especially in the generation we are, where names are not treasured. People treasure riches more. In fact, it's how you have more riches that even bad name is covered by riches. Yes, there's a way you have riches, even your bad name is covered. But you must understand that your wealth, yes, people will cover it, but the wise will not cover it. It's very important. It's very unfortunate, quite very unfortunate that we have such situations where people value wealth more than value their names. These are names that are given, not names that you were. Okay, these are names that you earn, not names that you were given. There are two different things there. The names you were given are the names they gave you at birth. They say your name is Francis. That is your name. You were given. I'm making reference now to names that you earn. Your father was a good man. It's a name you've earned. That person is very humble. It's a name you've earned. That is the one. I'm not talking about a name that is a declaration of your identity. I'm talking about a name that is a reflection of your personality. That's what I'm concerned with. Don't talk about your identity. Talk about personality. Someone looks at you and calls you a name. You know, there's how you are dressed. You dress with, if you are dressed in a very nice looking suit, and somebody says, pastor. He looks at you, pastor, and calls you pastor. Not because you've done anything for the person, but because the person sees that you are well dressed and you are dressed as someone who should be a pastor. So at that point, that is the personality the person thinks you have, even when you are a notorious criminal. There is a way you are dressed, and you are entering the cave, and somebody sees you, and the person doesn't want to enter the cave with you. Because you reflect something else. So that I'm saying at this point, I'm not making reference to the names you were given, because you have a very beautiful name. You may have a very beautiful name. You may have Itoro, whereas there's nothing that Itoro about your life. You have a number, you've not given anybody anything. In fact, you're very stingy. But it's simple, you have a jara, but you're always angry. That is not a name I'm talking about. Talk about a name that because of the things you've done, people now ascribe that name to you. Etiowo, Idiowo. Those are the names to talk about now. Okay? People see you and look at you and say, okay, this person is humble, this person is gentle, this person is kind, this person is generous. Those are the names that are given to you because of what you have done. You earn it. Not given to you. You don't get it by birth. You get it through your actions. You walk such names. You know, when Jesus, at the point when Jesus was with the disciples, he asked them, who do people say I am? Not what people call me. You get the point? It's not about what you are called. It's about what you are. So the name I'm making reference to now is not what you are called, but what you are. When he asked that question, they began to say, some people call you this, some people call you Elias, some people call you Christ. Now I said, who do you say I am? It was until one of them, Peter, said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God, the Christ. That is why when you call Jesus, the only Jesus that makes sense is when you add Christ to it. Because we have Jesus who is playing football. So when you say Jesus, which one are you talking about? What distinguishes Jesus from every other Jesus is when you add Christ to it. The Christ. At that point, he earned the Christ. But the good thing is, of all the names they listed about Jesus, none of them was evil. They're all good names. Prophet this, prophet that. So what name have you earned? What name have you earned? What have you earned? It's important to note because what you've earned is what will keep you going. I don't understand it why people will not take pleasure in earning good names. You don't just care about the names you've earned. Sometimes you feel that the name you had is more important than the name you earn. You know, sometimes you treasure your family name, your surname as it is. There are people who have very well-known families. There are people whose surname is the 10th generation. But because of how prominent that name is, they keep bringing it up. So just answer that name, the father's name, and go and carry one from the ages past. And come and add to it. And that's to make up your name, just to keep the affiliation going. That is not what I'm interested in. That may earn you some respect in our climes. But the name that I'm making reference to today is that name that you are given because of your personality. That kind of name that just asks, who do people say I am? And you say, you are this. And that reflects who you truly are. Not the one that people call, people says you are good. Perhaps your name is goodness. And there's not been anything good about your life. You've not done anything good, but your name is goodness. Your name is Si Mabong, but you've not loved successfully. You've not had one successful love story. Okay, so that is the expectation. I want us to be the reference today. The other day, yesterday, I talked about the other names that are given. But today, I'm looking at the names that you earn. The names that are given, the names that people ascribe to you because of the influence you've had on them. Either on them or on society or on something. That is a name we are making reference to today. So we are saying that a good name is better than much wealth, much riches. Much riches. So in all that you secure, please secure your name. Secure your name. If you have to trade something, please trade whatever it is, but leave your name intact. If you have to give up anything, please give up whatever it is, but leave your name intact. It's important. There should be no reason why your name should be fluctuating. And try as much as you can to be consistent. Be consistent. Let us know where you lie. Let us know where your name is. So that if your name is good today, it should not be bad tomorrow. You cannot be living in past glory. I used to be good. Somebody knew you to be a good person. I used to be a good person. Now you are no more. Your wickedness now is beyond measures. That's the point we're trying to make here. So your name should be consistent. To be consistent. Perhaps, imagine that Jesus Christ had asked the disciples, who do people say I am? And Peter said, you are the Christ. It's not a living God. And he changed. Became something else. We began to look for other Christs. It will not be like the case when John the Baptist had to tell his disciples to go and ask him, is he the one we are waiting for? Or is someone else coming? So this is an expectation that I want all of us to grab, that names can be given, names can be earned. And the names that are earned are better off than the names that are given. We all have given names from birth. Some of the names we don't know the meaning. There are some names we bear, we cannot explain to somebody what it means. There are some, if you are told the meaning, we wish we never bore them. But there's no problems. Keep bearing them. You don't have a choice to change them now. All you do is earn one that you can be proud of. Earn one that anytime you can tell somebody, this is my name. Okay. I love it when names are earned. I don't know what I've earned yet, but I hope to earn one someday. I have to earn one someday. So names are beautiful things. Names are gracious things. And most importantly, what I want us to understand is in the book of Proverbs. So looking at the Proverbs today, I wanted us to run Proverbs at this period. Maybe when we come back from the break, we are going to take other things. So from Proverbs, we are seeing a coordinated, how do I put it? A structured advice on wisdom. So from telling you what wisdom is giving the source of wisdom, that wisdom comes from God. We said the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Wisdom transits into talking about wisdom, how you earn it, how you keep it, how you go about it. It goes forward to now talk about the potency of wisdom and morality. And I mentioned that morality is based on personal standards. What you are, what you have as your standards will reflect in what you term moral. And I also said that your standard is based on what you are loyal to. If you're loyal to God, your standard will be built on God. And the standard built on God will determine what you call moral. If your standard is also about the things of the world, you also call what the world call moral. So morality here is dependent on what the values you have. Your values will influence what you see as being moral. Some people will see this, what I see as being moral may not be what you see as being moral. Difference is that your values and mine are not the same. And what I am loyal to and what you are loyal to is not the same. If I'm loyal to Christ and you are loyal to something else, I will only see what Christ says is moral as moral, while you can see whatever it is you want to see as moral. So morality is dependent on, first, my values, and second, what I am loyal to, what makes up my foundation. That is what lays moral. And we now say that wisdom is profitable for morality. You cannot separate the two. And just a few minutes ago, we told ourselves that wisdom in the home is important, because a wise woman keeps the home. A wise woman keeps the home. Then I cannot forget that we talked about wisdom and discipline. We said a wise person accepts, longs for, looks out for discipline and advice. Only the unwise feels he knows everything. A wise man doesn't know everything. A wise man never claims to know everything. A wise man will always look out. Nobody's an island of knowledge. In fact, a wise man, the more he is disciplined, the more he is advised, he takes them knowing that this is to shape him and make him better. A wise man looks out for such advice. So if you advise a wise man, he is happy about it, because you are looking for his growth. But the unwise feels that every advice is, how do I put it? Every advice is this, a word they use for it is casting, see finish. Yes, every advice is see finish. Who is this one to talk to me? Because you feel you've known everything, you've achieved everything. But I remember saying that professors are not proud. A professor is always humble because he has gotten there. It is the people that are just living a bar road. That in fact, the ones that have left Ipa Road are better. The ones that are almost leaving, you know, the dawn and dusting states. That's what the worst states. These are dawn and dusting. They're the worst. they just go showing you signed polo. Some of them that show you signed polo, if you check very well, they still have year one. They won't carry over. So those ones are not done and dusted, but done and dusting. That's you dusting it. That's you dusting it. They may need 2 more years to finish the dusting. But they didn't want their sets to finish. So you will not know that they had cobwebs to dust off. However, wisdom, I mentioned, is a principal thing. The scripture says, in all you're getting, get wisdom. This because wisdom is what differentiates two same-looking persons. They may have the same structure, may have the same prospect, but their growth will be determined by how wise or how unwise. I said I am not going to use foolish at all, but I'm going to use unwise, but I don't know what the difference between unwise and foolish. Okay. Yes, how unwise that person is. And I also said that wisdom is that thing that makes you follow due process. Wisdom make you follow due process. Wisdom make you see things from the futuristic point of view. You don't make decisions based on present gratification. Wisdom allows you to see things from a bigger picture. You don't do things just because it is done here because of now you are okay. No. Wisdom makes you see the bigger picture. Wisdom makes you look at the bigger picture. Wisdom makes you consider all options before you take a decision. Okay? Wisdom make you stay in the present and envisage the future before you take a leap. That is what wisdom does. Wisdom make you appear foolish in the eyes of the foolish. Because to the unwise, they may be looking, they are reactive to the situation. But the wise, okay, so the unwise are reactive. They only react when it happens. But the wise are proactive. The wise create solutions even when the problem had not been seen. Whereas the unwise wait until there's a problem before they start looking for how to solve it. Okay, so wisdom, I mentioned, wisdom is not just the collection of knowledge. No, wisdom is the application of knowledge. However, the better way to put it is that wisdom is the right and righteous application of knowledge. You don't just apply the knowledge, you ensure that the knowledge you apply is both done right and it's also done righteously. That is why they say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That is where righteousness comes into wisdom. I gave an instance. What happens if there is a lecturer? I mean, there's a lawyer, and the lawyer wants to defend his client. He does that, defending his client, and his client was actually a thief, but the client was discharged and acquitted. Is he wise at that point? The answer is yes, he is. He has applied his knowledge well. But is that knowledge righteous? No, it is not. So because it is not righteous, in the context of this study, that cannot be wisdom. Because wisdom had to be right and righteous. So before you glory in your success as a wise person, please ask yourself, was that right with God? If it wasn't, you don't have any business with wisdom. Okay, we are going to now, I think we are done with Proverbs. We're going to run down to Ecclesiastes. I said I'm going to run to Revelation before I move to other topic. I want to run the Bible from Sunday till I'm done with it. And I think I'm still very far, but I'm going to look for a way to finish it. So we are now in Ecclesiastes. I love one verse, Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Remember, yesterday I talked about the fact that Solomon, after all his wealth, after everything, after having 700 wives, 300 concubines, after being the wisest man that ever walked the sand of time, did not end well. Bible says that his wife turned his heart away from God. That is how bad. That is how bad it is. His wife turned his heart away from God. So in Ecclesiastes, he begins the writing by saying, vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. This is a man who had enjoyed everything in the sense of enjoy. This was a man who had faced everything. This was a man who had the power to solve any problem, the mental power to solve any problem. I recall telling us about the first case, the first case that showed how wise he was, where two women came. One had slept, rolled on the baby, and the baby died. And then she went and stole the other person's baby. And when the case came to Solomon asked them who owns the baby. They both said, we own the baby. Someone said, no problem, it's not a big deal. Bros, come. Pick up the baby. He said, oh yeah, cut the baby into two. The other one who wasn't the mother was quick to say, cut the baby. But the owner said, no, please don't allow the baby, give it to her. Let her go and groom the baby. Someone said, okay, please, carry this baby, give it to this woman. Why did you give to this one? It's obvious. No mother you love to see the child being caught. No mother. No mother. So it was obvious who owns the baby. It was obvious. So that same Solomon who had much wisdom at this level is now saying vanity upon vanity. All is vanity. When you are done earning all of the things you are struggling for, when you are done running up and down, when you are done seeking for all the things you are seeking for, when you are all struggling with all the things you are struggling with, when you are done priding around with all the pride you can gather, when you are done flexing with all the things you can flex with, what you need to understand is that vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. At the expiration of your struggle, at the expiration of your life on earth, at the expiration of all the things you do, at the expiration of saving all the people you need to save, and then you are not safe, that was vanity. The struggle we have on this planet, all of them will end on this planet. That's what people don't know. All the glory we are searching for on this planet will end on this planet. The only thing that will flow you after this planet is your relationship with God. That is all. All the monies we are gathering, in fact, the monies we are getting as men is for the women. Yes, very important. Who do we build a house for? How many times do we stay in that house? We don't stay. The women and the children, of course, I agree. We don't stay. They are still the one that will come out and stay in the house. All the money you make is always for them. We just keep making money. Sometimes we don't eat half of the money we make. We keep making the money for them. We keep making the money for them. But the idea is, all the power tussle, all the money we make, all the things we do them forgetting that all of this ends here. The end here. The end here. I wish there was a way to make this known to people so much that as you run your struggle, please know that it ends here. So that you don't end up showing so much attention to the things that end here to the detriment of the things that will continue after here. People fight so much for things that end here that even the things that grow after here, they don't pay attention to it. There are people who don't even have time to be in church. They don't have time to serve God. In short, Sunday morning, go to their shop, the shop is open, go to the market there, the market selling. And they tell you that God is in their hearts. What a thing to say. What a thing to say. And you forget that that same God had told you that you should not forsake the assembly of the saints in Hebrews 10 verse 25. Don't forget the assembly of the saints like some do. At that point, it is not optional, it's an instruction. Don't forsake the assembly of the saints, it's an instruction. So when you do that, you no matter how well you are, no matter when you think you have a good relationship with God, you are already disobedient in that particular act already of forsaking the assembly of the saints. So what make you think that God will accept you when God tells that obedience is better than sacrifice? Obedience is better than sacrifice. What would you not expect after that? So everything is vanity. You run to heaven, run to earth, run to everywhere. Everything ends here. It ends here. All, not some. All is vanity. It ends here. Should we begin to count them? The cars, the money, the affluence, the position, the power, authority, the clothes, the jewels, everything, the houses, the ends here. And when it ends, the only thing that lives is the soul. And the soul stands in judgment. Because Hebrews 9:27 says, it's appointed unto man once to die. After that, judgment. As easy as that. So what stands in judgment? What will be judged for? And what will be the result of the judgment? That's what matters most. That's what matters most. What stands in judgment? The soul. What will be judged for? What the body did. You see how the thing is. The soul will stand in judgment for what the body did. Shouldn't the body stand in judgment for what it did? But the soul stand in judgment for what the body did. And then the soul get punished for eternity for what the body did. Or get blessed for eternity for what the body did. Thus says the Lord. So it's vanity. Don't struggle for it. Don't fight for it. That's what means you should stay poor anyways. No, it doesn't. It means that in your wealth, let God be at the center of it all. It means that in your fighting, put God at the center of it all. In everything you do, acknowledge God. Allow God to be at the center of it all. When you do that, you will earn. See, it is possible to actually have a good life here and a good life there. It's very possible. It's very possible. When you put God at the center of everything, you can live well here and still live well there. Nobody says you have to be poor here to be rich in heaven. Nobody should teach that kind of a thing. Okay? But again, they should also let you know that you can be rich here and be poor there. It's very possible. But again, it's possible to be rich here and rich there. Just know you have to place the right things at the right place. Give God his place. Allow God to stay where he should be. Allow God, don't shortchange God. Don't expect God to understand. That's the point. Don't expect God to understand. You fight for vanity and expect God to understand. When you fight for vanity and finish, your life will be vanity. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be vanity. So vanity on vanity, all is vanity. Thus says the preacher. Thus says the preacher. Okay. The next part that is interesting in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, where the preacher talks about time. I think I'm going to stay on this for a while. On time. The preacher gives very good analysis of time. He says there is time for everything. There's time for everything. A time to born, a time to die, a time to be happy, a time to be sad. There's time for everything. There's time for everything. The mistake you will make is in wanting something at when it is not its time. There is time and season for everything. The Psalms 1 we read says, you shall be like a tree planted by the riverside that brings forth fruit in its season. Life is seasonal. Today it may be your rainy season, another person's dry season. It may be your own dry season, another person's rainy season. Calm down. Don't try to fast forward time. God's time will always be the best. And God can never be late. God cannot be late. God's time cannot be late. Whenever God arrives, that is the right time. So if you had fixed 12 noon and God arrives by 2, that is the right time. If I were you, I would turn my hand to 2. Because that is the right time. Your own is wrong. So there's time for everything. There's time for you to go through the process. There's time for you to learn the trade. There's time for you to save others. There's time for you to understand the processes. There is time for you to be the boy. Unfortunately, people do not want to follow the times. You want to jump the time. The time that you should be in your father's house, you're in a man's house. The time you should now be in a man's house, you're in your father's house. That's the problem. The time you should be in school, you are learning a trade. The time you are learning a trade, you want to go to school. No, there is time for this thing. In fact, I love the way psychologists put it. There are age brackets. They say between 0 to this is what happens. Between this to this is what happens. There's a time that's supposed to be somewhere. If you use the time you're supposed to use to work, to enjoy, you use the time you're supposed to enjoy to work. But when you work when you should work, when it is time to relax, the work you had worked will begin to work for you. Begin to pay you later. So if at the time you're supposed to be in school, you're not in school. When your mates are now out of school, that is when you now begin to bother your mates. There is time for everything. There is time for everything. Follow the process. Don't jump the steps. If it's time to be in school, be in school. If it's time to be at work, be at work. If it's time to be at home, be at home. Okay, remember yesterday I spoke about what's his name again? I spoke about David, who was supposed to be at war, but did not go. He was in the house. And when he was now walking around his window, he saw Bathsheba taking her birth. He now sent for a man who was at war to come home and be with his wife. The man reacted to him and said, "No, I cannot, my king. I have to be at war." He got angry and then gave the man his death sentence and then take it to the general. Give it to him. The general read it and put the man in for the man died. If he was at war when kings were at war, what would he be doing in the house looking for Bathsheba? When you're supposed to go to work, you don't go to work, you call in sick. It's in the house. I'm forgetting that the devil's an idle mind, the devil's workshop. We're supposed to be busy, be busy. We're supposed to be working, be working. The way we're supposed to rest, rest will come. As easy as that. We're supposed to be in school, be in school. We're supposed to be in your house, be in your house. There is time and season for everything. Everything has time. Everything has season. Everything works when they should work. Nothing works when it should not work. This is something you need to understand clearly. I need us to understand it. You also work with it. There is time for everything. The preacher had seen that all that he did, it was around the time. It was within the time. Nothing was done outside the time. Nothing. Everything was done within that time. So the preacher who tells you there's time for everything in verse 3 was not doing the wrong thing, because there is actually time for everything in chapter 3 of Ecclesiastes. The preacher says there is time for everything. So why we are struggling in life, why we are hoping to do one thing or the other, why we are hoping that one day we are going to do this, we are going to do that. Yes, they are all doable. But what you should understand is that all these things you need to do them by the time. By the time. By the time. So the man who is working in the fields is working so that in the many days he does not have to work. The student who is in school because that is when he or she needs to be in school. Let me talk something about time. You say how time flies. Yes, time flies. Time flies. But tell you how time flies. There are people you did not know how they began. You're wondering, this is not the boy I saw last week. Or, see, I'm a Ekonoma. Because time flies. Are we together? You need to understand it. So when the preacher was saying vanity, we're making reference to the fact that you that is jumping, you should understand that time flies. And when that time passes you, when time passes you, you may not have it back. You may not have it back. So, why not allow time to follow its due course? Why not allow time to do what it should do? Why not allow time Let me share something. You know, there are parents who don't want their children to follow due process. There are parents who want their children to jump time. I want my child to finish secondary school at age 12. So I will enter the university and finish very early. The mistake you are making is that the time that will be at the university at age 14 will not understand anything. By the time things begins to get clear for that child, the child has already left the university and is now in the field. How can a child who is battling with puberty and battling with GST? How? That's the problem. You made a child run faster than the shadow. I know there are things I began to understand at my 300 level. And I was wondering, is this the same thing you're teaching me? But my mind could not comprehend them because my mind was too young at that time. We begin to produce babies that have babies. Because when this child finishes university, what else we want the child to do? I'm not comfortable with what is currently happening. You see these 13-year-old children running around the school doing registration. I don't understand it. And in schools now, you can even tell students to kneel down, they kneel down. It's not joke, it's happening. Because they're too small. Anywhere you go, you see passport is missing. This is missing. They are missing things. Allow these children to flow due process. Allow them. Allow them. We know that Nigeria is Nigeriaing us. We know. But don't make it worse. Don't make it worse. Allow us. There's also a time for you to do the right thing. The time you do the right thing and it becomes the wrong thing. Yes. There is time you do the right thing, you do the wrong thing. What were you doing when you had gone to that school? In fact, it's how time will pass. Don't do that thing again. Do something else. However, there is never an age to learning. Yes, everybody learns at any age. But the different purpose for learning for different people. So when the scripture says that there is a season for everything, there is a season of toiling and a season of harvests. Don't eat your seed and wait for harvest. You will not harvest anything. You've eaten the seed. Toil when people are toiling. You know, it's like going to farm. Do you know that if you go to farm when people are planting corn, you know, the most confusion is maize. Which one is big boat? Which one is aqua? Okay. So, when you don't plant, when your neighbors are done planting their maize or their corn, whichever one's in your head, and you come to plant your own, once their own begins to pollinate, it will cause your own to pollinate. No matter how small your own is, it will pollinate. It will not produce anything. So when they are planting, do what? Plant. Do not wait until when they are done planting. Now come and plant your own. When their own pollinates, your own pollinates. And their own will produce, your own will not produce. Some of us are like that. When our people are planting, we are not planting. When they are done, we not come and plant. See, when they pollinate. See, this is how life is. When your mates, see, there is a natural law of separation. When your mates are above where you used to be, no one will tell you to find your square root. Are we there? You just see yourself not comfortable in their company. They will not have to chase you away, you will chase yourself. Because you can no more feel in that clique. You're no more there. You don't feel it. And the truth is you're no more there. And again, if you're also above your mates, you go above them, naturally they will be the ones to separate themselves from you. You don't need to chase them away. They just know that they don't belong again. They may find a reason to say, you are no more close to us. It's not true. They know that they are no more in that clique. They know. So when everybody is finding their square root, please do what? Find. Don't sit back and fold your hands and say, God understands. God doesn't understand anything. But say, don't eat me. It's physical. It's a funny thing. So what we are trying to say is follow the times. Grow when others are growing. Toil when others are toiling. So when all of us are reaping, we'll reap in peace. So that you will not come and reap my own farm. and tell me you were hungry. No. Sow when we sow, reap when we reap, and everybody will be at peace. That is just what I want us to understand about time. It's important. I didn't know how much to say. I didn't know how to say it more than that. But I wish I had a way to say it, that there is time for everything. There's time for everything. There's time to be born, and there's time to die. So note that as you are going, as you are slaying, there is time to die. Yes. No matter how you slay and reach, when the time to die comes, you will die. Only concerns slaying and dying. And dying does not respect age. I think I remember telling us about the angel of death that went to Egypt. The angel of death does not recognize pastor or elder or president. In fact, God knew that the angel of death would not recognize Moses. Like God said, please tell the children of Israel to kill a lamb and put the blood on the doorpost. God knew. Because the angel would not come and ask, who lives here? Is it the Israelites? He will not know. So when it is your time to die, don't worry. You don't need to stay on the streets. You can stay in your house and still die. You don't say, as I was saying, I was saying to you, you die by truck and you decide to stay inside the house. What you don't know is truck will still misrule and go and kill in the house. Have you ever seen where truck drove into somebody's compound and kill somebody? It will go and kill you there. So don't say, between now and December, I will not get to the tar road. So the truck will not kill me. What you know is truck will leave tar road that is 100 meters away and drive and say, look, the brake fell. And it will land at your house. And you still die. That's how life is. There's time for everything. So when you are happy, be happy. When you are sad, know that it's time for it. It will also go. Everything has a time. Nobody will be happy forever. Nobody will be sad forever. You always have time. You feel a bit of happiness, a bit of sadness. All of these make up life. Yes, you have a bit of everything that make up life. When you have a time to be happy, please use it. Use it. When you have a time to be sad, use it. When you have a time to flex, please flex so. He may not come again. May not come again. I'm very serious. Life is that serious. Life is that serious. So everybody runs this race, but not everybody runs with God. When Bible says, teach us to number our days. Teach us to number our days. It's important that you learn how to number your days. Don't run your life as if you don't have a time limit. Don't run your life as if you're in charge of your timing. Don't run your life as if everything is mama. Run your life knowing that one day your ticking clock will tick to an end. Because it's ticking, tick, tock, tick, tock. Here we say tick, 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 tick says the clock. What you have to do quick. Yes, it is that serious. It's that serious. Teach us to number our days. I tell people when somebody says, Father, thank you for adding one extra year for me on their birthdays. I do that sometimes, but recently I think I've changed it. Because I know that you didn't actually earn a year. You lost one. Is that the truth? You didn't earn it, you lost it. Because you are subtracting, you're not adding. In the real math of life, you don't add years, you subtract years. So if God had given you 100 to live, you've lived 40 now. 60 is left. You don't add on top of the 100, you take away from the 100. That's the beauty of life. So every birthday you celebrate is 1 year less than the life you have to live. That's what it is. So you should be able to count your days, number your days, and walk circumspectly. Do not walk as fools. Only fools think that they have all the times in the future. No, the wise knows that every day is a privilege. Every day you see is a privilege. That is simple truth. Every day you wake up is a privilege. Many went to bed with you that night, did not wake up. In fact, apart from the fact that you woke up, a privilege, that you woke up in your house is a privilege. Many woke up in the hospital. Some woke up in the morgue. Anyways, some woke up outside their house anyways. But it's good that you woke up in your house. So it's a privilege. It's not a right. But you should count that as a privilege that you must use judiciously. Use judiciously. Because every day counts. Every day counts. See, you know, life is not actually how long you live it. Life is rather how well you live it. It's not he who lives longest that made the most impact. Even the scripture, the man who lived longest was Methuselah, who lived about 969 years. What impact did he create? What impact can you remember him for? Nothing. If there was any, none on record. But we have a young man who lived only 33 years. 3 and 3. And because of him, every Sunday you wake up and wear your star shirt and leave your house. Just 3 and 3. He's the reason you leave your house every Sunday with your star shirt. So it's not in the number of years. It's in the impact created. The influence you create while you're living. Now, since nobody even knows how long one has, what you do is live one day at a time. I love you when the important said, one day at a time, Lord Jesus. That's all I'm asking from you. Give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday is gone, sweet Jesus. And tomorrow may never be mine. Give me the strength to do. What? How long? How many days? All you have to do. When do you have to do them? One day at a time. One day at a time. So when you see today, use today as if there is no tomorrow. If you are lucky to not see tomorrow, use it that there will be no next one. Utilize every day when they come. You may think you are still young, but I'm sure there are great for people who are my age. There are great people who are below my age. So I cannot say I'm too young. In as much as I know, like I said yesterday, I know that one maybe an occasion. But that does not stop the fact that the ticking clock does not tell me when. It ticks, it moves. All I need to do is to use the ones I can see. So when the psalmist tells you there's time for everything, he's telling you use the time as it comes. How I wish that we had our lifetimes like this. So you just see that you've used 19 hours away from your 120. You just see that, though, that what is left is 100 hours. Nobody will even tell you to start running. Nobody will tell you to start running because you are seeing the seconds, you are seeing the minutes, you are seeing the hours. They are right before you. It's very clear. So when you now have 10 seconds left, you know what you need to do and where you need to be. It's like when I have to come back on stage and I'm told I have 5 minutes, 5 seconds more, 5 minutes more. I know where I need to be. I cannot be in the room. I cannot be anywhere. I have to be somewhere around here. That is what I'm talking about. When your life is timed like that, when it's calculated like that for you, you have more focus. It makes better sense. But when the thing is vague, when life is vague, when you don't even know where it will start from, where it will end, what do? You just keep living. Just keep living. That's all I want. Because it's not timed. I think I saw a movie that had that storyline. Yeah, is it time that is named? Yes, it had that storyline. Such that people had time. You can transfer it. They can transfer it. You can actually use something that looks like a power bank and transfer it. You see? So you can show your time. You can hold somebody and you can steal somebody's time. Yes, that movie was that. You can steal somebody's time. If somebody catch you, if the thieves catch you, they can hold your hand and steal your time. It's only that, unfortunately, in real life, you cannot steal my own time. If I die, they cannot add my time to you. They will not add. Your time remains your own time. In fact, if you were to die the next minute, once you kill me, you die too. That is how it was. You don't take my own time. But our lives should be timed. We should not wait for people to time it for us. We should be conscious of the things we do. We should be conscious of every day we spend. Every day should count. Every day should matter. Every day should be a time of reconciliation. It should be a time of forgiveness. It should be a time that the Bible says, seek peace and pursue it. Every day should be a time of peace. There's nothing that is more, how do I put it? There's also that is more troubling than you having trouble with somebody who never made peace with, and the person dies. How do you reconcile that? You didn't make peace with this person, he dies, or she dies. You don't reconcile it. So as long as you can, don't keep grudges. Make peace with all men. Make peace with all men. Use your time. Count your time. Be in charge. Don't allow anybody to cause you to run helter-skelter when you should not run. Time is precious, we know. But time is scarce. I love it when people understand this, the issue of time. I love it. Because what it does is, it allows you to see the world from a different perspective. Allows you to see the world different from how others see it. You know, you have an image of what the world should be. And you run that way. That's how life should be. Everything becomes less important and your time more important. You understand? I don't know if you see what I'm saying. You are very conscious of the God you are worshiping because you know that God at any point in time can take away that time. You know, when your time is in your hands, you can do anything with it. But when time is in God's hands, God is in charge of the time. Who is in charge of time now? Can we do anything about not this one sitting down here, not timekeepers, not anybody? But I have my God who takes care of me. And who takes care of my time now? Who? I had to keep quiet because I don't know who I'm actually making reference to. Guys, see if you are missing the essence of the time I'm talking about. As if you are missing it. The time I'm making reference to here is not this. If it were to be this, it would be easy to measure. At least this I know. You know what you know, you don't fight for it anymore. You manage what you know. How I wish we knew the one I'm talking about. But no, we don't know it. We don't measure it. We can calculate it. Because it's not in our own hands to do so. That's why I said it's preferable to do it one day at a time. One day at a time. Every second should count. Because the preacher says there is time for everything. There is time for everything. There is time to love. There is time to be loved. Don't use the time for one thing for the other. You will not be able to fix up the time when you've missed it. I'm saying this over and again. I want us to understand it. Don't use the time you're supposed to sleep to stay awake. I'm very serious about that. Reasons being that you see time, you see the body that we have, our body has a way of making us remember that you are cheating it. Okay? Don't use the time supposed to work to play. Because when you use the time supposed to work to play, your play, I mean your time supposed to rest. Life will play with your future. As much as you can, use your time. Let me be quick to share this part with us. You know, even at times that things you need to, that time you need to start having children, you need to stop having them. That time having children become a stress. That time when you have them, that is a good thing. Even when you want to go to school, there is time for you to marry. And there is time for you not to marry again. So you not steal somebody's child. Either as a male or a female. It's very important. Because you take away several challenges. Like I said, this thing has been categorized where you know when between this age to this age, this is where I should be. Between here to here, I should be here. Between here to here, I should be here. Don't want to stress anybody. And please, stop telling us that time is just a number. Stop lying to yourself. That time is just a number. It is not. I don't agree. I may agree. See, that philosophy is in two sides. And you cannot merge them. In your growth, you can neglect time. But when you do, you come back to ask for that time. But in your experience, time is just a number. But you see, in your growth, time is not a number. If it were, why didn't you grow beard at age 2? Yes, if time is a number, why didn't you grow beard at age 2? Because it's not a number. It had to wait for a time to come. So don't go and tell me it doesn't matter my age. It's a number. It is not a number. It is not. Do the things you need to do at the age bracket you need to do them. Because a fool at 40, if you agree, don't agree. At 40, you should not be working. At 40, you should be thinking of reproducing yourself. At 40 is a year of impactation. Think of making somebody like you. Produce somebody to be like you again. At 60, 70, you should not be thinking of becoming a president. Retire. Go home. If there's a retirement age for civil servants, that should apply for everybody. Retire, go home. Let all of us rest. There is time for everything. There is time for everything. Mark your calendar. Mark your time. Check when you were born. Check where you are today. And know that you've lost where you are. What is left is what you don't know, not what you had left. What should you do since you know that time is limited? Let me share some of the things you need to do. Number one, you have to be prudent. One, you have to be very prudent with time. Yes, time may look like a scarce resource or look abundant to you, but it's a scarce resource. You have to be prudent. Manage your time. Time management becomes very important. Be at the places that you need to be, not places that you have to be. Be prudent with time. Every 24 hours, all of us on this earth have 24 hours per day. So when you are too busy, you expect me to have time. Where do I want to carry my own time from? Be prudent with time. Number two, be consistent. You cannot agree to be fluctuating. Today you are there. Tomorrow you are here. Be consistent. It allows you to keep track of your time. Sometimes if they ask you to give a chart of what your time has been like, you don't know how your time has been like. In fact, you don't even know what to use your time for on a very normal day. You don't. There are days you come back and you ask, what did I even do today? You don't know what you've done that day. You can even know where and where you went to. Number three, treat time as money. Yes, treat time as money. There was this old song they used to sing, time na money. Treat time as, it's important to treat time as money. It's important. Because they just like you don't throw money around anyhow, you don't throw time around anyhow. When you give people time, consider it that you are paying them money. This will help you know what you give your time, what you don't give your time. This will help you invest time. You invest time. You help you invest time. So time becomes a commodity for investment. You invest time. That's how important this is. Time becomes a resource and you invest it. Number 4 now, budget your time. Budget your time. When you budget time, just as you budget money, you will know what you spend your time on. You will know who you give your time, what you give your time, when and how you give the time. So you don't go, it's only here that when you want to go to a bank, you just give 1 day for bank. Because you can never go there and come back on time. There are 2 places I don't fix 2 events for them 1 day. I don't go to bank plus another event. I just fix bank. I don't go to MTN office. Plus any other thing. Anything I'm going to MTN office, I just put the MTN office. If I'm lucky to come out on time, I have extra time to do something else. But that day, you go and sit down under the canopy. But budget your time. Budget your time. budget your time. It's very important that you budget your time. Allocate your time. Let it have subheading. In fact, if it was possible, you know, there's this pattern of programming that most people don't know that is the best. We are running a program. You draw the program from the first item, from the open qualities. You give it time. If the program starts by 9 a.m., from 9 to 9:10 a.m., this thing. From 9:10 to this event, you budget your time like that. So once it is 9:10, you know that item is done. You move to the next item. Not when you say event start by 9 to 3. Items do not have specific timing. No. Items should be timed. 9 to this. That is how your life should be timed. I am going to be at this place between this time and this time. After this time, I'm going to be here. It's not as easy as I get to say them now. But as you grow, you begin to see the need to do what I'm asking us to do. But if we do them now, if we learn to do them now, I'm very sure, very, very sure, that by the time we grow older, it will be easy to keep doing them. If you start to learn them now, no matter how small it is, we may have to do them better. There is a need to do better. You may not perfect it now, but you may have a perfect picture later. Time is of essence. Time is a resource. Time is precious. Time is important. Time is essential. So just as wisdom was in all you're getting, get wisdom. If I would say in all you're getting, get extra time. It is better that you finish everything you need to do and you still have extra time. You add more. Therefore, you choke up your plant with so many things that you don't even have time to do the rest. I decided to take my time to talk about time. Because that's how important time is. Many people may not know how important that time is. We've often not valued how important time is. We often not followed through how important time is. But that is how important time is. Putting all of this together, the one thing I really need you to know, remember we just look at the first part of Ecclesiastes. And the first part was just vanity upon vanity. The preacher referred us back to his life story. Told us, I know, don't worry, this thing you want to come and struggle for, I've been there. I've seen it for myself. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. This struggle you are struggling, beating yourself up and down, is not worth it. This running you're running up and down is not worth it. Because vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. The writer of Ecclesiastes, now in verse 2 or verse 3, now instructs us on time. He wanted to draw ears and say, see, while you are running and looking up and down, it's time for everything. Because when you use the wrong time or the right time for the wrong thing, you get the wrong result. So he now says, there is time for everything. A time to born, a time to die, a time to live, a time to stay, A time to sow, a time to reap, a time for this, a time for that. And I had to drum it into our ears carefully that yes, we need to manage time. We need to run with time. We need to budget our time. We need to be conscious of what we do, when we do, and how we do them. We need to know that time is precious. Time is of essence. Time is everything. And again, we need to walk one day at a time. Walk one step at a time. Use this day as if today is the only day you have left. If you are lucky to see tomorrow, good for you. Use that again as if that is the day you also have left. Always use each of your day, one day at a time. If only the preacher was here today, I am sure that what the preacher would have told to us would have been, I'm giving you what you need to do. Don't be like me. You don't need to be as wise as me to survive. You all need to use what you have when you can and do what you can. So the preacher is not here today, but this is me helping him to say, you that is running up and down, don't run above the time. For the time, because God's time will always be the best. God never goes to anywhere late. So when God visits, that is God's time. Budget your time as if you're budgeting money. Spend your time as if you're spending money. Do not spend your time haphazardly. Spend your time on what time should be spent for. Reserve as much time as possible. And know that if only we could calculate our time using God's timing, it will help us to reduce the things we do, value the things we value, work with the things we can work with, and be the best that we can be. But in everything that happens, whatever happens today and tomorrow, know that tomorrow will definitely be better than today. Only if you have used your today well. You don't deserve a tomorrow if you've not used a today. If you die today, you don't have a tomorrow. So use your time well and everything but just fine. So, yeah. You know for what?
Huh? I've sent it on the group. Oku, go record the correction of it.
special dabba? Any special dabba?
Special.
Cheddar head.
No special.
Is the mic on? It's fine. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be back here, and of course, I want to say a very thank you to you for staying here and staying with me. We are still running this marathon and must get to the end of it. Yes, that is simple truth. But that's how it is. We'll get to the end of this marathon. So, we're still looking at the preacher's advice in the book of Ecclesiastes, and right about some minutes ago, we're talking about the the woes of vanity upon vanity, and then we talk about the value of time. So let us see what he spoke about in chapter 5, chapter 4, chapter 5. In chapter 4, 5 of Ecclesiastes, the preacher spoke about vowing. One thing that many people have undermined. Yes, I don't even know how to say it for people to understand what I mean. People do not take vowing seriously. They feel that you can tell God, Father, once you give me this job, I'm going to give you the entire my first salary. Now, you told God the first salary that will hit my account, I will bring it to your kingdom. And then you were not paid for 6 months. You had borrowed to go to work. And when the money now hits your account, bim, 6 months in block. You now begin to bargain with God. But you know I have to pay debts. You know I have to keep money for transport for next month. You know I have to keep money for food for next month. You know, my house rent, I have to do something about it. Before you know it, the money is exhausting. And tell God, Father, don't worry, the next salary, I will give you that one. There will always be something that will cause you to postpone God's salary. After all, God is not going to give you that immediate, boom, die. But the preacher, they make it very clear. It is better not to vow than to vow and not fulfill. I think it's at this point that we should be able to make our vows very clear. Don't tell God the first salary that hits my account, I bring it to your kingdom. Maybe you save the first month's salary. You know that it's just 1 month in case you are paid 8 months at the same time. If you say the first that hits my account, you are supposed to give God the entire 8. Because it's the first that hits your account. You see, sometimes we make vows and we are careless about it. There are vows we make out of desperation. Say, Father, please, I'm begging you just this one time. In fact, if you believe this one, don't bless me again. I'm serious. People do this kind of talks out of desperation. But this my mother is a no, Father, please. Even if it's the last blessing you bless me, let her live. As if her living will add anything to your life. And what if God will take that literally? And God now packs all the blessings that was meant for your life and bless you at that one time? What do you do with the rest? So the preacher is saying, don't vow it. Don't vow it. Don't do it. If you are not sure that you are going to fulfill it, don't vow it. And in fact, if I were you, even if I am sure, it is better for you to give to God. You know, people think that when you redeem a vow, it makes it heavier. No. I think even gifting God comes with blessings. Why not stop with that if you're not sure of how good you are with vows? I hear somebody said, I told God that once he blesses me, I'm going to give him a car. And then God blessed you. The first month passed, no car. Second month passed, no car. Third month passed, no car. You now begin to pray a different prayer. You want to bribe God to change his mind from a car. A car will take 10 million. Can I give 5? Was there a time you and God began money? Is it not you that say you want to give a car? Why not give the car first? Don't bargain the price. And it can be even worse, even when you tell God, I'll give you a tier of a car. You know, at that point where your Father, once you make me the chairman of the local government, Father, I will bring a tier of Prado to your kingdom. Are you aware that if you make such a vow and then you bring to God's kingdom a fairly used, that you've not fulfilled your vow? You've not. Even if you bring a fairly used G-Wagon, thank you. You're not supposed to fulfill that vow. Because you say you bring a tier rubber, Prado. I'm trying to set these examples for us to understand how serious vowing is. So that when you want to vow, you choose your words right. And if the Bible says it's better not to vow at all. But if you must vow, please choose your words right. Consult all the people you need to consult. Don't say, don't be the wife. And you know very well that your money will enter joint accounts. You tell God, once you bless me, I'll give you money. When you know very well that the money has to pass your husband's approval. And you feel, God, tell God, you see, I had in mind to give, my husband has refused. That does not suffice. That will not take away the fact that you had vowed. It will not. Because you knew that you had a joint account. You did not consult your husband before making the vow. And after making the vow, before the due date, you did not discuss with him. You know, sometimes we joke with God. You know, because God, I keep telling people, if they give us option and say between God and ghosts, who do you fear most? I would say that 90% of us fear ghosts more than God. Because you know, ghosts own, once ghosts come, it slaps nonsense out of your life. As we are told. But God's own will delay. God will have patience. God was like every other deity. You know, when you get to the shrine, they say walk backward inside. You don't dare walk front. You must obey and walk backward. But in God's kingdom, when God says this way, you say, God, no, calm down. This seat should be here. You begin to negotiate. Don't make a vow. If you do, please keep it. Please keep it. It's better not to vow than to vow and not keep it. It's very important. It's very important. Very important. Very important. So the preacher in is making this clear. In the entire of chapter 5 of Ecclesiastes is about vowing. In fact, if you say don't vow to somebody, don't place with somebody. Not even God this time. Even somebody, you tell somebody, I will do this for you. You know, remember when we're still in school, when you go to somebody, I wouldn't want to mention category of people so the person does not get known. So I just you go to somebody and the person says, are you done with school? You say, yeah, I'm done. You say, have you come for? You say, no, I'm not going. You say, don't worry. When you are done with service, come and see me. Oh, don't worry, the job, I will give you the job. Go for service first. You now go for service. You come back. I'm back for service. So you say, Okay, don't worry. Just drop your credentials here. Once something come, I will call you. 2 years later, nothing happened. You now go back. What about that thing you spoke about now? You say, okay. Have you done? Do you have MSc? The job available now is for MSc. Just do it. Just go do MSc. It's just 2 years now. Do MSc. You will not even pay. You got to do MSc. Once you finish MSc, you come out again and say, Kai, are you aware that people with PhD are hotcakes? Which invariably means go and do PhD. I will give you a job once you are done. The job never came. It's better if you don't have a job. Is there a person I don't have, but keep your CV here. I will submit it at anywhere I can find. It's a better option because you told the person you don't have. Like for you to say, I don't know, is it job? Don't worry, calm down. Which level? 300. Once you finish, you finish, and the story changed to go for service. You go for service, they tell you to do MSc. You do MSc, you need to do PhD. We are done with PhD. I wonder if they say you can become a prof. Vowing is a serious business. Vowing is serious business. When you vow, let it be conscious. Let it be calculated. Let it be intentional. Let it be redeemable. It is not in how large your vow is. It's in the intent you had in vowing that matters. That's one thing people don't know. You think that when you make a big vow, that is going to cause God to do bigger things for you. Yes, it may, but if that vow is not redeemable, please hear me. You are going to incur upon yourself problems that thing that you got will not solve. So always take your time before you make a vow. And the vowing here, I'm going to enlarge it to promises. Because vow is a senior brother of promise. Yes. So even when you make promises, please be conscious of the things you say. Because the Bible even says, we are going to give account of every word that proceeds out of your mouth. No, it didn't say every word. See, give account of every careless word. Yes, I love when the Bible puts careless. The one you will say, I was just kidding. I was just joking. I was going to give account for them. They were careless words, but they're important to God. They're important. So I mentioned I'm going to talk about 7 things now about vowing, and I'm going to talk about them before I move away from that. I said, vow is sacred. Vowing is not a child's play. It's sacred business. Vowing is made for a divine. God is the one who vows and keep his vow. So when you want to vow, you are stepping into God's shoes. So you must do it the way God does it. That is why vowing comes with so much blessing, because you are stepping into the shoes of God. It's God blessed to vow. God says, I vow to do this. God is the one who vows. So when you want to vow, you are trying to replicate God's person. So if you must do that, do it well. So vowing is sacred. It's not you can decide to just make a promise or anything or something, but once it is a vow, you say, if you do this, I will do this, or I will do this for you at the end of this, or for this purpose, I will do this. You make reference to a cause and you are to remit something because of that cause. It's a serious talk, serious business. It's serious business. You don't just do it carelessly. You don't throw it away. You don't throw it under your feet and you don't forget it. You don't ever forget it. If you write it on the doorpost, So anytime you are entering, you are seeing it. You are going out, you are seeing it. Until you fulfill that one, you take it off. Keep it conspicuous. We are going to see it all times. That's number one. It's sacred. Number two, it must be redeemed. The must, they should be written in cap lock. It must be redeemed. You must redeem your vows. You cannot make vows and not redeem it. No, you cannot. It's not. You should not even try it. The Bible says it is better not to vow than to vow and not fulfill. It is better not to vow than to vow and not fulfill it. Don't vow. Don't vow if you know you'll not fulfill it. It must be fulfilled. No matter what happens, it will be fulfilled. You cannot forget it. I repeat it. You cannot forget it. Try never to forget your vow. Don't say, I tried, I could not do it. That is why the next one is your vow must be redeemable. Redeemable. The smaller, the better. It is better for you to have vowed, God, I'll give you 1,000 naira. And then when things actually came out, you were able to make it 5,000. You can now say, Father, I had vowed 1. Please take 5. It's better. For the Father, it was 1 or better. I see at things, then 100K, 100 H deal. It's better for you to add to your vow than to reduce the vow. So your vow must be redeemable. Think about it well again. Calculate, check options, check the village, check village people, check your mother, check everybody. Nobody should be sick when you are redeeming your vow. Your auntie should not swallow spoon. Or your grandma swallows remote. Or MP3 that needs. don't tell God such stories. Don't remember your landlord when the vow comes. Calculate all of those things first before you make the vow. Because once you make that vow, the worst is if you are giving a timeline. That's the worst. Take it from now to December. Look at me that funny. You even give a timeline. From now to December, I will do this. December 31st, you've not even seen half of the month. Vowing is important, but the next I want to mention now is don't mimic a vow. Don't mimic a vow. Don't vow because somebody else vowed. Don't vow because your person sitting beside you vowed, or you hear somebody making that vow, you follow and make the vow. Don't. Let your vow be personal. There be something you want to do, how you want to do it. I don't know if you are getting it. Don't mimic anybody's vow. Sometimes we gift because of people who has given. If she can do it, I can also do it. You may not know her total source of income. You may not know. That she works in the same office with you does not mean that is her only source of income. She may have other sources of income you don't know. Even a husband can be more wealthy than you are. Even if you are both singles, you don't know the kind of singles that she is. Some people are more single than others. So be careful not to make anybody's vow. Let your vow be very personal. Let it be very personal. The next one. Don't vow for show up. Or show off, rather. Don't vow for show off. Let it not be during testimony as some people have in the churches during testimony time. You come and then you make a vow so that everybody will hear. And everybody will know that that Odogu, he can do it. Pablo. He don't do that. Don't make a vow for show off. Because if God wants to disgrace you, make your disgrace show off. Don't make your vow for show off. When you make a vow, it should be between you and God. In fact, even when you are redeeming the vow, if possible, just redeem your vow between you and God. Let God be the one to bless you. There's no need you're coming to do show off or vow. I promised God last year that once He blesses me, I will give the church a coaster bus, and the coaster bus is now outside. Sometimes people can do that sincerely without it being a show off. It's fine. I'm not going to put all of such issues into one blanket statement and make. But if you do that as show off, don't do it. You can still bring the key to the preacher, to the pastor, whoever he prays, and he can say somebody donated. If the name is mentioned, it's fine, no problems. But don't pick up a mic and then want to show somebody that you want to oppose the next person. Somebody will say, I became a local government chairman for just 6 months, and I can give this church a car. Some people who were chairman before me have not even... Don't do that. Never you do that. Never you use a vow to show off. You know why? Because you have reaped your rewards already. But the Bible will say when you want to give a gift to the arm, don't do show off of the gifts. That same thing is applicable to vows. Vows are between you and God. So don't do show off of vows. When you do that, you receive. When people say, hey, how can you've done what? Thank you. That is a reward. That is a reward you've gotten. But when God, who was the one who received that vow, gets that vow, He compensates you for the vow the way He got it from you. Don't use your vow for show off. The next one. Let your vow be a reflection of your intention. Let your vow be a reflection of your intention. You have a reason for making that vow. Not just be a careless vow. It should not be fun. See, it's better if you don't be fun of making vows all the times. If you make vow once and God knows this is one, you know, if a child says, Daddy, you know, I've begged you for this thing, do it for me. You know how that thing sounds. It's the way that thing sounds. Okay, you know, normally I know for beg you, but so I beg you, say I need them. But it's the one that will just come out and say, oh, no worry, I'll get back to you. I'm using that just as a reference to make us understand how vows are important. Let the vow be a reflection of your intention. Let it not just be a show off, or let it not just be a reflection of, how do I put it? I just want to vow. No, don't just, it's not a careless thing. If you want to do gifts, give God, you can give God carelessly. But you don't vow carelessly. Either you have careless money, go and give God. Doesn't matter how much you give to God. If you don't even need to give to God, give the poor. You see with the blessings. But when it comes to vowing, it must be intentional. Or not be careless. It's just like fasting and prayers. Christ will say this one will not go away except through prayers and fasting. So fasting is not just something you just do. Every Saturday you are fasting. Are you okay? Fasting is something that should be intentional. So you have a reason for. Father, I need this one, so I'm fasting for it. It's something you do intentionally. Not a routine. Not a routine thing every time. Me, I don't eat to church every Sunday. I fast every Sunday. Are you very sure at the point it has not stopped starvation? Because people do a thin line between starving and fasting. When you don't have food in your house and say, let me go hungry. When I come back, I will eat. That is not fasting. That is starving. But it's the truth. Fasting is when you have food, you refuse to eat it. Fasting is deprivation. You deprive yourself of something to get something. It's fasting. But when you don't have, And you say, since you know that now, I might just go like that. When I come, I go chop. Might use at that time do fasting. That's not fasting. That's starving. That's starving. So in the same way, same pattern, when you want to vow, it's not a careless thing. It's not, Father, I vow last one. No, when you want to vow, it should be that it's like somebody having minor project and major project. You had a major project. That is, fasting should take care of major problems. Same as vows should take care of major problems. Don't careless it. Because when you careless it, even you'll not be able to, you don't understand the value. You devalue it, even in you don't understand how valuable it is. You can just say, Father, I paid last month's own, this month own, wait till I go pay. You devalue it. So when the preacher says, it is better not to vow than to vow. When you see, you never hear Bible says it's better not to give than to give. You don't hear that anywhere in the scripture. Because gifting is part of life. You should be giving every day. Don't wait till Sunday only. When you go and dance 3 times, for those who dance 3 times. Don't wait till that time. You gifts out every day. There's nothing as good as God bless you. Earn it. As much, no matter how small, earn it. Earn it. You can be the things you need. If you're playing a game, you get to a place, you need a lifeline. You go and buy a lifeline. That God bless you may be a lifeline you need. So as much as you go, collect it. Collect your roses. Get as much God bless you as you can. Collect them. But in all that you do not devalue vowing. Don't devalue it. Make vows that are intentional. Make vows that fulfills a purpose. Make vows that fulfills a purpose. Make vows that you can look back on, and then it becomes a memorial for you. And if you get that, make a vow that you can look back on and you recall. You recall and you smile. See, don't ever gift a vow that costs you nothing. I don't know if you heard that. Don't ever gift a vow that costs you nothing. If you had cars in your house, I tell Father, when you give me, I'll give you a car. You carry one in your house and give. That's not a vow. Remember what Abraham said? I will not give my God a gift that cost me nothing. That was a gift too. Not to mention a vow. So vows must cost you something. It will cost you something. So if you vow and that vow was just you carrying what you already have to give, that's not vow. Vow must cost you something. It must cost you something. But having said this, let me be quick to say again, you must not regret a vow. You must not regret a vow. Yes, so. In fact, thank you for bringing that. I will talk about that before I close this. You must not regret a vow. Don't ever gift God and then you are wondering, if I did not give, I will use it for something else. Sometimes some people gift. People gift in church and then you go back and you say, that money I give now, I don't have much. I've used that money to buy matches. What just happens is that you've lost the blessing of that gift. The Bible says, for God loves a cheerful giver. So, at any point you're not cheerful in your gift, you've lost the blessings of that gift. God loves a cheerful giver. So, when you are vowing, ensure that your vow, though it costs you something, but don't over regret it. Don't say, Kai, this problem now, that money was still here, I'll use it for it. At that point, you've lost that gift. You lost it. You did it to God. is that when God says, when you bring your gift to the altar and you realize that a brother has something against you, go back, make peace with your brother. When you come and offer the gift, what that means is you force yourself and offer that gift, you've lost that gift. You stop the gift because God will accept the giver before he accepts the gift. A simple truth. I said this years ago. God assesses and accepts the giver before he accepts the gift. The giver is more important to God than the gift. God is not asking for gifts. In fact, you give God because of your own need. Because the Bible says, give, it shall be given to you. So it's not God, it is you who needs these gifts. So when you give to God, say you're doing God a favor. I don't understand it. Some people give to God, say you're doing God a favor. Let me give, let me go and give. You just go and give. No. The gift that you give God, God is not poor. God is not in need. It is because of you. He said, give that I may bless you. It's because of you. It's your own. And that's it. The measure you measure to give, the same measure will measure to bless you. So it's about you and your God. See, it has nothing to do with God himself. See, even if all of us cease to give money to God, God will not go poor. God will not go poor. And even if you don't support the church work will not. See, Bible, Christ says, I will build my church, and the gate of Hades shall not prevail against it. So even if all of us stop going to church, the gate of Hades will not prevail against the church door will stay open. It's as if it's a simple truth many people don't understand. So you think going to church, I go to do God a favor. No, you know, it is you who takes blessing for going to church. So if you like, stay at home. To begin to tell people how much the church has been has done you bad. You will see, church is not come. Your auntie died, church is not come to work with you. This happened, the church. You tell the story of how bad the church is to you. And you stay back at home, they ask you, why you do the nkanga? What you think you are doing God now, not knowing that even if all of us leave the church and nobody gets there, Christ says, God can raise the stones to worship him. In fact, it is also to be begging God. You know, I love the song that says, I will never let the stones to praise the Lord. You are the one begging God. Me, I will never allow it to happen, or not when I'm alive. Yeah, you're the one begging God. God is not going to come and beg and say, go and worship. So you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. So when you gift, ensure that your gift is not regrettable. Especially when you vow. Don't ever regret your vow. Don't regret your vow. Don't regret your vow. When you do, you lose the blessings thereof. It's the blessings thereof. Okay. Let me talk about what she talked about before I move. So what happens to marriage vow? Why are we carefree about marriage vows? But they are called marriage vows. Are we aware that the same rules I just mentioned apply to them? The same, and even worse. Yes. Because it gets to a point that, are we aware that there are 3 institutions, when I talk about marriage, I talk about this again, 3 institutions that God himself used his hands to establish? Marriage, the church, and government. These 3. So when God says, what the Lord has joined together, when God says, what the Lord has joined together, it is not joined by anybody. All the thing we do here, we are just doing ceremony. The joining is joined by God. So what God has, not something you just do after 6 months, something you just do after 6 months, you find your way. This is not situationship. This is a person you're going to see every day for the rest of your life. Every day. morning, afternoon, evening. That same face. No transfer, no leave. For the rest of your life, you are with this person. You talk to this person. You sleep. Claro. You know the one that you just go for weekend. Monday you go back to your house. and you breathe fresh and you're like, thank God. You see this one? Once you enter, you've entered. You've entered. That is the word. You die there. You both die. It is till death do us part. That is the conclusion of the whole matter. That shows you how serious that vow is. Till death do us part. Till death do us part. How do you begin to explain that? I did not really mean it. You know that was the question I asked when I was talking about Job. I said, this Job wife that told Job to denounce God, to denounce God and die. What was her real intention? Did she forget rather that the vow was in sickness and in health? Did she forget that? For you to go and tell the man because he's sick to deny God and die. But you're supposed to be there with him in sickness and in health. See, marriage vows are too serious to be joked with. Too serious. In fact, the way they begin, the way some people will make it. In fact, the one they do in court is easier. Some churches have increased their own. They add more vows to it. So you see yourself saying something like, I've decided to forsake every other and keep myself only for you for the rest of my life. It's all right. See, don't be child's play. Oh. Don't be my mind. Don't be my mind. So I tell people, when you are single, enjoy your singlehood. Don't allow, I say this all the time. I said, I had a seminar some months ago. I said, don't allow anybody to force you into marriage. Because whatever forces you into marriage will be the same that forces you out of it. Let it be at a time that you are very sure that I shall step in, I've stepped in. You are convinced. Not a situation of, okay, let me go. In fact, don't marry because the same way I say don't vow because other people are vowing. The same way applies say don't marry because other people are marrying. Don't do it. Don't say, all my mates are married. By the time you go in, the first month is sweet, second month is sweet, third month you begin to see shege. You know you're not going anywhere. It is you death do us part. This is not a joke. This is not something we just carelessly talk about. Okay, it's not something we just carelessly talk about. It is something. See, one of the first things God did in Eden was when God said, "It is not good for a man to be alone," and God made for him a helpmeet. And then God said, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and will cleave to the wife." Look at something from before the war, at the beginning of the war, God had made that. So what are you saying? In fact, when you are tired, you're on your own. When you're tired, you're on your own. You must understand how important, how serious this business is. It's not a child's play. It's not in child's play. It's not in child's play. So vows are important at all times. I mentioned when your vow is intentional, when your vow is that thing you do only at that time that you need to do it, at that time that you want to do it. See what I said? Vow is personal. Marriage is personal. You don't follow a bandwagon. You don't do it when every other person is doing it. No, you do it when you want to do it. So it's personal. It's something you have decided. It's a choice. Something you should be ready to tell somebody, I made this choice. That me won't do them. Okay? You've assessed. You assessed. Remember when I said in vow we must assess all options. Check if your auntie has not swallowed spoon. If your uncle have not swallowed MP3. Check well before you make a vow. In the same way, when you are married, check all options. Those I did not know that he had 3 children in the village. No, there's no this thing for that. When he has 3 children in the village, you have entered. So before you make the vow, check all options. Exactly what I'm trying to say. Check all options, because whatever thing that comes as a supplementary list, any budget that they need to part, you're on your own. You live with it. You live with it. So don't allow the how do I put it? Don't allow the emotions of the time to make you to just rush in. There should be time for you to do, if possible, hire a private investigator. Do your investigation. It's important. The things I'm saying, laughing, are serious business. I have seen it happen. I've seen this thing crash. I've seen somebody that I knew never had a child. And I knew that small girl was the younger sister. That's what I knew all through my life. Only to realize at the point where the chips were down, that the younger girl was actually the daughter that she had in secondary school. But the daughter had to put name to the father because she was, of course, in secondary school. So the age is not too different now, so it's quite younger. So the way the story came out, that the daughter, and me, even the guy told me, I did not believe it. The guy, it was when she was not the one who said, but it was since secondary school. I said, are you serious? So it's true. He said, I said, well, people do. Like I often say, like I said yesterday, tell him. Let him be the one to decide if he wants to go ahead with it. If you tell him, you'll not be shocked when the truth comes out. If when another person tell you, like, my audio, you will not be shocked. Tell him. Okay, now that he now know what he's going to do, to smile and to say all is well. No, he cannot say all is well. And whatsoever thing he decides to do, you cannot blame him because you didn't tell him. So tell him. Like I said, the one that's really your own will still. People still marry people with three children. People marry them. So the one that really you accept. I've seen somebody who married a girl that had 2. In fact, what I'm saying that just happened last week. She had 2. The guy married her. And the guy is happy about it. The guy took all of them with the 2 and he's caring for them. So the ones that will accept. Don't hide some things and say, what if I miss this one? It is better to miss that one than to go and live in such bondage. Because the bondage you will live in, he will keep reminding you of every time about it. He will keep reminding you every time about it. He will keep reminding you. And the worst thing that happened to you, you see this business of vowing. If you don't trust God, don't vow. If you don't trust God, don't vow. If you're not sure if God can do what you want to vow, please don't vow. Vow must be done on the background of trust. In the same way, if you don't trust the man, don't vow. See love. Love is child's play when it comes to marriage. What I think is marriage is trust. Trust is stronger than love in marriage. You see, when you actually trust somebody, you know, you can easily love. You can love. You can love somebody you don't trust. Yes, you can love somebody you don't trust. Are we there? You can just love somebody, but you don't trust the person. You can, because love in categories. You need to have the agape and all of that. Okay, but trust is earned. Trust is not emotional. Trust is earned. So when somebody earns your trust, it's easy to give the person love. Easy to give the person love. You can grow to love the person. After all, in the olden days, they bring man and give to woman, or bring woman and give to man. They grow to love themselves. If you stay within a confined space with somebody for a long time, you get to love the person. That's simple truth. You grow to love the person naturally. That's why if you have a clique of friends, and you are really close to you already know what she loves, what she hates, or what he loves, what he hates. You know all of those things. When it's time to marry, it's difficult for you to go and marry someone you don't know. Because this is the person already, she has stomach ache, is a give her water. You know that much. If you are lucky to marry that one, you will not have problems. Because already you people have a track record. That's the person they will say, I made okra, so you say she will not eat. They will ask you, how do you know? You say, I know she will not eat. Will you eat? Say, I don't eat okra. You know her that much. Now that one you should marry. Not the one you just saw somebody land from UK. And then because the first land for UK, you jump in. And then you say, don't worry, I will love him with time. The mistake you're going to make is, if he now has that person, he knows her kind of soup, and he end up marrying you, you will be there when somebody will visit. That is the real friend. That is the real. You cannot stop that bond, because that is the real friendship. You are his wife. She is his friend. There are things she knows about him that you don't know. There are times in his mind he will ask him, he will not, if he's a mature person, he will not want to tell it to you. There are times he may be sick or something, and he knows that if the friend was around, she would have known what to do. But he will not be able to say it to you and say, you should have known what. He will just say, okay, please, can you help me get this thing? But these are things that the friend won't ask him what you need. The friend knows what is your inhaler. She brings it and gives to him, because she knows at that point what she needs. What he needs is inhaler. But here you are looking for water. You're dapping his head with water. You are too hot. He needs inhaler. You don't know. But the friend knows. And if unlucky, I like to say unlucky, you now become friend with that friend. And she now calls at that time and asks you, how is my friend? You say he's sick. Oh. You say, what's wrong? He say he's shivering. Have you given him inhaler? And you went and carried inhaler and get a young man, and he gets up. You know how you feel? You feel like a loser. If you don't trust him, don't vow. I must repeat that over and again. Because trust is that thing that is going to keep you guys going when the chips are down. You must trust him enough to know that you know what you're going to do, what he can do, what he cannot do. Not the one that he stays there. You call him, where are you? He say, you know, if Jonah's wife did not trust Jonah, and Jonah come back after 3 days, and tell the wife, I was swallowed by fish, and fish carried me to the river. You just come home after 3 days, and ask, where did you go? He said, I went to Nineveh. He said, I Nineveh from Nineveh is one day now. You're supposed to be back yesterday. He said, no, I don't go by boat. He said, how did you go? He said, as I was going, there was trouble in the boat. They threw me into the water. A fish now swallowed me. And I was in the field of the fish for 3 days. And fish now took me, fish now took me to Nineveh. And now vomited me. And I now preached. And after preaching, God. We should have said, who is that woman? Is her name Fish? No, she just who is that fish? She will not believe it. In short, would you believe my own? Maybe that you were the woman who believed me. They say fish swallow me. And after 3 days, fish vomits me. Away. Oh, come on. And then fish now vomits me, and I went to preach. You still lived and went to preach. Who had ever lived the middle of fish and leave? Who? You don't give that kind of story to people. But a woman that trusts him will listen to that story and will believe it. Yes. And this part have not mentioned love. We talk about trust here. Because somebody that loved him would have said, my brother, my friend, even his friends will say, my guy, my guy, my guy. Where exactly did you go? You know, I will cover for you. Where did you go? This matter, Elon. In fact, I think it's on Thursday. From Thursday, I'm going to talk about marriage. On Thursday. Yes, Thursday, I'm drilling marriage. My minister asked me, what did I say about marriage? He said, are you married? I said, minister, don't worry, when you come, you know. When you come, you know. But yes, it's on Thursday. So Thursday, we'll do relationship marriage and we'll see how these things work. So perhaps you have to keep a date. Yes, I am sure my dear friend and brother Paul Uda will be here on Thursday. You have to be here on Thursday because I was making reference to you. Someone question will answer me, answer them. Because you have experience as well. You know, he's my grandfather. He's Paul. I'm Felix Paul. So he's my grandfather. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, what we are saying, we're talking about vowing. And I'm saying vowing must be intentional. The last one I said is that you must trust before you vow. You must trust before you vow. So even when you are vowing to God, remember we're doing exercises about vowing, and we're saying, it's better not to vow than to vow and not fulfill. We are saying you must trust to vow. You must trust to vow. And remember we mentioned that you must not regret your vow. When you make a vow, don't regret it. Don't ever regret a vow. There should be no account where you're like, even if that vow was small, don't say, I will give him bigger. Don't even bother. You vowed, you redeemed, that ends it. That settles it. That settles it. Go to move something else. With something else. And I said, don't ever look. No, always look back at your vow and be proud of yourself. Are we there? Always look back at your vow and be proud of yourself. That is when you don't give God what does not cost you anything. In the same way, always look at your man. Look back at your man and be proud of the vow you made. It's important. When you look back 10 years later and he has changed shape from 6 packs to 1 pack. Look back at your vow and be proud of your vow. It's important. It's important because it was like 6 packs. It's your fault that he has 1 pack. It's your fault. It's your fault. You know the difference between tummy and belly. Some people have tummy, some people have belly. It's not the same. Look at your vow and be proud of it. Look at your vow and be proud of it. Okay, don't make me talk about marriage today because that will be too much. Let's wait for marriage on Thursday. And then we are going to do marriage talks on Thursday. Okay, so I think we should move now. I haven't looked at chapter that was chapter 5. Okay, chapter 11. Chapter 11 is about investments. Chapter 11 is about investments. Investment. The preacher says you should invest in several things. You invest, but he says, count your bread upon the waters. That's what the preacher is supposed to do. Invest in several things. Put money in things. Put money. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. You know, someone was a very rich man. Very rich man. And I think I told us yesterday that some of the wives he married were investments. Yes, I did. They were investments. When I know that I have problems with Paul Oda, and Paul Oda has a daughter, I don't want Paul Oda to come and fight my country. What I do is I go to marry his daughter. I take home. I become in-law. He does not fight in-law. That's how they got to 700. Most of them were investments. He married from nations that were supposed to be at war with him. They were at peace with him. He married them and brought them home. So they were investments. So when we say he married 700, some of them needed to marry them like marry. It was only collateral. That's why when he now has 700 concubines, the ones he could not marry, he will have something that you look back and say, for the sake of my daughter, I will not go. That was how they got many. So they were not necessarily marry. If you were, maybe we did the maths. If he had to marry that much, if he wanted to go to them once in a day, each person will have 2 years interval. He comes next 2 years. Because there were 1,000. There are 365 days or 66 days in a year. Divided by 1,000, it will be 1 year interval. So it wasn't that much. It wasn't as that much. It wasn't as if he had the ones he married like married. But this other one was, Egypt will come to war. No. It cannot happen. You get daughter for Egypt. They say, yes, don't worry. He comes around. I know he was very wise. And being wise means that he knows lines. What is wisdom without lines? There's no need. So he will give sweet lines. He gets one and he goes home. In fact, he may not even talk to the daughter. He will talk to the father. The father will be the one to call him. Hey, come follow him. So, Solomon telling you to invest. Who will tell you to invest more than Solomon? Okay, perhaps today we can talk about Bill Gates or Elon Musk because they are the ones who are rich. So Solomon, who was the richest then, is telling you to invest. How will you not invest? It is not about it's not you being a entrepreneur. You're not being an entrepreneur. How you be invest in something. I remember I said yesterday as well that even when you are an entrepreneur, I cannot stop you from being an entrepreneur, however, because you know one thing about life, when you hear that somebody cashed out, it's because you not want to cash out yourself. But when you are being an entrepreneur, do yourself a favor. Have something that you tap from when tapping does not tap. But that though. Why you are still tapping this one? And then you have something that you tap from. Yes, so in case tap not tap from somewhere. But in this chapter, in this chapter actually, Solomon was saying that we should invest in several things. Cast your bread upon the waters. Ensure you cast your nets at different locations. Some of them will not cash, some will cash. But what happens is, at the end, ensure that there is a cash. Are we there? You know, there's this picture that I really love. I love so much on Facebook. I saw the first one and then I saw the second one. The first one was a man who was digging. Two men were digging. And then the other one gave up easily when just one more shovel would have given him the gold. Thank you. The other one, one more shovel would have put him inside a piece of something. These pictures gave this different picture, different idea. Why you think that I should have tried more, I would have gotten the result. If you had tried more, you would have made your calamity. So there are times that patience is a virtue. There are times that perseverance is a virtue. How do you know the difference between when to be patient and when to persevere? That is the biggest problem of life. Be you to cast your net. Don't sit down one place. Okay, this other one was very beautiful. This other one, the man sat like this on a bar trying to fish. He threw his net into the water. Behind him was where the fishes were. But here he sat with the hook, waiting for the fishes. The fishes were over here looking at him at this other side. So they now said, sometimes patience does not pay. What are we now saying? If he has cast a hook both sides, you would have at least got something. In your investment plan, please have more than one source of money. If possible, have more than one source of money. As I go into school, learn a skill. Yesterday I talked about hard skill and soft skills. So people like Poloda are leveraging on soft skills. You can leverage on that as well. You can also leverage on hard skills. You can leverage on crafts. You can leverage on tailoring, barbing, anything that is crafts. You can leverage on it. You can also leverage on public speaking, leadership, emotional intelligence, AI, and all of that as well. But have a skill. Because even if you are lucky to have government work, you work between the hours of 8 and 4. What do you do between the hours of 4 till you sleep? Apart from caring for your home, you can make extra money. You can work weekends and make extra money. Think of how to make extra income. Anyhow you want to do it, think about it. Think about it. If you are teaching, you can do home lesson. Anything that has that extra income that not necessarily put pressure on the main income is good. Anytime, any day is a good option for me. It's a good option for me. So while you are thinking of life, now that you are growing, think and include that source of income somewhere, and you'll be fine. So investment becomes very important. Investment is important. Invest. Don't lock up your money and put in the bank. It's doing nothing there. But also be careful. We'll talk about that after now. Be careful when you invest. Don't lock up your money and put in the bank, except you're putting it in. At least that one you are sure that every morning you will see $1 interest. But if possible, money make money. Those who know the law of money knows that money make money. So when you are making money, ensure you make money. Use money. Don't lock up money and keep. You don't multiply. Send money on an errand. It comes back double. You remember the parable of the talents, the 5, the 2, right?